All right, let me turn it over to you, big dog.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It is Wednesday. Let's get fired up to have a great next 5 days leading into the weekend. Stay focused, stay happy, stay hungry, and let's get some words of wisdom from Elias this morning and take us through the weekend. I'm ready to go. Thank you so much for being here. Let's get this started.
I appreciate you, man. I really, really do. You guys, so yesterday, if you were at the team meeting, I gave you a number. I'm sorry that number was a couple of numbers off, but I have the real number. Here's what I want you guys to do. If you are not driving, if you have the ability to do so, please do this with me. It is a little scary. I'll promise you, this is a little scary, but I think that it's important. I want you to write this whole number down somewhere on a piece of paper, on your notes, in your phone. The whole number is 27,375. Put that number somewhere, okay? So when you guys all have that, there we go, 27,375. Thank you, Mr. Bowie. Now, what I want you to do in your phone, if you're good at math in your head, cool, do the math. I want you to take your age, whatever age you are, and times that by 365, okay? Raise your hand when you have that number. Okay, cool. Vanessa, you have that number. I want you to take your number and minus it from the whole number, which was the 27,375. When you have that number, take yourself off of mute and tell me what your number is.
Negative 16,425.
All right, we didn't do the formula. Right?
Oh, okay.
All right, hold on, stay with me. Take your current age, okay, times 365. What is that number?
10,950.
10,950. See, someone did the formula wrong. So 10,000, what is it?
950.
950. Okay. So minus that number from the 27,375. And what is the number that you come up with?
I got 8,760.
Who said that?
16,425.
All right. So Teresa, take your age times 365.
Right.
Okay. So let me do this with you because there's no way you would have got that number. Tell us your age.
Okay. 51.
51 times 365. 51 times 365 equals 18,615.
Right.
Okay. So the whole number was 27,375.
Right.
You take this number and subtract it from the 27,375.
Right.
So what is the number that you have?
The same number.
Which is?
Okay, hold on. 27.
Okay, there's a point to this, you guys. We're going to get to it right now.
8,760, the same number.
Okay, all right. And this is okay. Yeah, I got it too. Cool, you guys. Let me ask you a question. Let's go to a couple of people. Let's hear from a couple of the people. Denitza, what was your number? You got to take yourself.
16,790.
Okay, Cynthia Peterson, what was your number?
It was 14,575.
Dan Sundberg, what was your number?
It was 15,350.
Okay, cool. Jim, what was your number, big dog?
12,775.
Wow. Okay, cool. So let's go to PK. Did you do the math?
16,790.
Okay. You guys, I want to ask a question, and Cynthia, please don't answer this. What do you think the 27,375 represents? Anybody, go ahead and take yourself off of mute.
How many days we got left to live?
27,000.
Average days of life.
One more time, Dan.
Average days of the average person's life.
The average days of a human, and hence why I'm wearing this shirt. The average day that a human being lives on this earth before we transfer to our next life or whatever's past this. So I whatever your number is, and if you know, like I'm 42 years old, so I'm not necessarily young, but I wanted you to put some things in perspective. Whatever your number is, whether it's 8,000, 10,000, 16,000, higher number, like for Denitza, she's a little bit younger than me. So the question is like, how do you want to contribute for the rest of the time that you have left on earth? When I did this, you guys, I literally like me and Cynthia did it yesterday in the office, and I'm like, whoa, it's crazy to even think about, right? Janita, I'm not trying to mess anybody up. What I want to do, and my intent about this, is to put things into some pure perspective for everybody. When we go to masterminds, it's not about just learning. Obviously, it is about learning, but it's like, what is the impact that I'm going to have on my life when I come back? What can we do? What can we share? How can we contribute at the highest level? And so I wanted to share that with you, because how will you contribute? And those that contribute at the highest level, I promise you, you can't lose. You can't lose because you're contributing to other people. John Cheplack, I heard this today. Those that contribute at the highest level can't lose. Those that are consistent can't lose, right? So when we talk about you guys running this purpose-driven business, we mentioned this on the call yesterday, and really going into life and saying, what are the things that I want to do? What are the things that I want to contribute? How do I want to be seen? How do I want to be seen after I'm gone from this earth? Like all these things, you guys, I know it's a deep conversation, but leave it to me. You know, that's where I always go, because that's how I am as a human being. So when you think about that, when you hear or see your number, please somebody take themselves off of mute and like tell me like, what is instantly going through your mind? I want you guys to share with me, because this is a really, really powerful conversation, and I don't want you to be shy. So who's going to be the first person to tell me like, where did their mind go? What were their thoughts? Who is that? Sorry, was that Jeff? Sorry, Jeff, I don't know if you took yourself off of mute or if you're chiming in. All right.
I'll go.
We're
All right,
running
cool.
out of time.
Kwanzo, let's go to you.
Yeah, I mean, good morning, everyone. Yeah, I mean, it puts things in perspective, because there are days where I will wake up, not lately, but before, and I'll be like, man, I don't feel like doing anything. Let me just take it easy today. Tomorrow will be a better day, and I'll work on things tomorrow. And if I reflect back on all the days I did that, just growing up, all the days. And this really puts things in perspective, how many days were wasted, right? Because if we were to run a clock, right? And basically tomorrow there'll be one less day. And then the following day will be one less day from there. So it gives you this more of a sense of urgency to get things done, because these days you're not gaining these days. Everyone has the same amount of days. We're on an even playing field between us to the Jeff Bezos, the Elon Musk, and whoever. It's the exact same amount of time. So, how do we use this time? It puts things in perspective. And I'll just add on to this. I've been listening to that book called Big Money Energy. Ryan Serhant, and he's talking about this 1,000 minute rule, where basically, there's like 1,400 minutes or whatever, in a day. And of course, out of that, there's roughly about 1,000 minutes that's actually, productive time. So if if you count that as like $1,000, would you throw away $1,000? No, right? So how would you utilize that 1,000 minutes you have every single day? Like, do you want, so it definitely helps to put things in perspective. Thank you for that.
Yeah, I love it, man. And thank you for sharing. I know, Vanessa, you had taken yourself off of mute for a second, and you got baby boy. Hi. Did you want to say something?
Yeah. Hi, guys. Initially, when you told us what this number was, I was like, oh shit, I'm running out of time. Like, this is not a game.
Yeah, right. It's not a game, right? If you were ever to, and I've seen videos of this, like people go and interview people that are, at the later stages of their life, that they're in a home, and maybe that's, they're in hospice, whatever it is. And like the one thing that they always say, like, I wish I would have spent a little bit more time with the family. I wish I would have done this. I wish I would have gone on the trips. It doesn't matter all the money we have. You guys can make all the money in the world. That money doesn't go with you. right? It's about the contribution that we're making here at a higher level. So Mr. Momentum, you had your hand up for a second, but my brother, did you want to chime in?
Yeah.
And I love that backdrop, bro.
Oh yeah, it's downtown San Francisco. We gotta put the vision in front of us.
That's
But,
right. I love that.
Yeah, that's actually at the Harrison downtown. But I love this. It's just something that I contemplate on, because I mean, there's so many different ways to look at this. When you really start thinking about, like, because some people will look at this number and they'll automatically get fearful. They'll automatically instead of allowing them to push them, it almost sometimes some people, it allows them to hold them back. But the way I see it, there's, outside of just business, I mean, I kind of learned a long time ago to live my life with no regrets, and be grateful for every single day, because the most important thing is that you're on this Zoom. There's a lot of people who didn't wake up today, no matter what. So many different ages, people thinking, having all these dreams, of, doing something in 10 or 20 years, and they didn't wake up today. That's the wealthiest on the planet is the cemetery, and it's just because, you have so many people who didn't, go out there and, accomplish knowing what they could accomplish, and I like how the other guy, Quan, started talking about, our time, and the thing about our time is procrastination. Sometimes when we look at this number, that procrastination, that's the real thief of time. So every single morning, if you go through the day, and then you're at the end of the day, you're just kind of like, oh, I could have done this today, or could have done this tomorrow, or, oh, I'll just put it off because that guy rubbed me the wrong way. That's like the wrong way to look at it, because those things are going to happen no matter what. And everything that we do in your personal life, your business life, your spiritual life, all of that, so when I look at this number, it just makes me, very, very grateful, knowing the fact that, there's so much to do today, and that I have a gift to go out there and share to people, regardless if it's in, business, or in, my relationships with, just normal people, day-to-day people. But it also gives me a better sense of appreciation for somebody else as well, too, like my mother, or, like I've known Elias for a long time, like Elias, he's like a brother. So it's just like, it's an appreciation level, not just for myself, but also other people who I care about, knowing that, hey, we're in this together, but I know when we get the number, it's not something that's supposed to be, make you feel afraid. It's something that's supposed to push you even deeper, into whatever it is that your purpose is in life, or legacy that you want to call it, so that's kind of like how I look at it when I think about this number, my brother.
I love it, man. And I really, really appreciate your thoughts and your introspectiveness on this, because really it's not about, it's obviously I live a very, very grateful life, but like, what is the impact that I want to make? Like when we talked about like the things that we can be doing that are far past, just in our immediate and helping our friends and our family, like who can we impact in the world? I mean, John Pugh, we met him a couple times and he spoke at this event, like he's making wells in Africa so whole villages can have water. $20,000 he raised to give a whole village water for the whole entire year. I'm like, wait a minute, $20,000? He's like, that money goes so far in other countries, right? You take, $1, and this is what Ernesto said the other day, it's like $7 in other countries and how they stretch it. And so it's amazing what we are capable of. And if we have a purpose of truly want to contribute at a highest level. Let's go to Run-On. You had your hand up, and then Teresa, I'm gonna go to you and go to you, Jeff. Run-On, you had your hand up.
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
So I actually got emotional just listening to everybody talk about this, and I took a little bit of a different perspective, and I'm halfway. I'm 13,500, right? And just a like sense of accomplishment. Have half of that to go. So what else can we accomplish? And then I thought, I calculated my parents. I said I have 7 years with them left. Family is important to me.
Man, I love
So
it.
I'm like, okay, what can I do in this 7 years with them?
Man,
Just to give them the best life that they've had, all the struggles that they've gone through to get us to where we are today. And we're going on our first family vacation this year.
Yes, I love that. Run on, so powerful. And thank you for diving deep with us. You guys, we sat in a mastermind and we did a bar camp. There was a group outside that was talking about leisure. And I was like, cool, I want to go to that group. I want to, up my leisure game, right? The question went to the room or to the group. It said, what is something that you bought and did in the last 2 years that brought you the most amount of joy? It was nothing that had to do about possessions. It wasn't the car, it wasn't anything in the house, it wasn't the records, it was none of that. There was 2 things. It was last year, I took my mom and rented a vineyard and surprised her. And then for her 60th birthday, I took her to Big Bear and surprised her for 4 days and had an amazing vacation. That in the last couple of years, it's been a good run. I've been successful, but my most powerful moments of contribution is what I did for my mom. Like, that's what meant the most to me. I don't give a shit how much fucking money I have. I don't care how much money I have. That was the most powerful moments for me, because at the end of the day, the possessions are cool, but I'm more attached to the feeling than seeing the smile on my mom's face. And like you said, Ronan, I don't know how much time I have left with her, and that number's a lot short. I did it for my mom as well. But Jeff Phillips, let's go to you, brother. You have your hand up. I don't know if we can hear you, but let's get a mic check, bro.
Can you hear me? Mic check, 1 2 1 2.
Yeah, loud and clear,
All
bro. Big dog.
Perfect. So what this reminds me of is when I was younger, I stepped away from Christianity in a way, and I kind of wanted to find my own route and how to live my life to its highest potential. And something that I came across was like, the only thing that you're going to be able to leave this world, you can say you can leave assets to your children, and you can say you can leave stocks, bonds, real estate, all these things. But in reality, you don't know what's going to happen when they do possess those things and if they will be able to attain them for a long period of time. But the one thing that you can always guarantee that you're going to be able to pass down is the energy that surrounds your name. That is the one thing for sure you will always be able to own in your life, that when you finally transition to the next phase in your journey, your spiritual journey, is the energy that surrounds your name. When I finally transition, I want, when somebody says Jeff Phillips, to say, oh, that was an impact. Oh, that person made a difference in people's lives. And that's something that we can all do. We can all take a hold of having control of the energy that surrounds your name when you do finally pass on.
Man, I absolutely love this. Absolutely love it. Damian, let's hear from you, big dog. You had your hand up. I'm sorry, we'll go to you. Actually, Damian, we'll go to Teresa first, and then we'll go to you, Damian, and then Carmen. So Teresa, let's hear from you. And it was great seeing you in the office. I love that you're showing up. So Teresa, what does this number mean to you? Where did your mind, heart, and thoughts go?
My stomach. It kind of dropped to my stomach for 2 reasons. One, because my number was the lowest number I heard out there. And 2, I've been working here in this government building for 33 years, and for what? I mean, for what? And then when I do the math and see that if my math is correct, I may have just 20 years to go. It saddened me. It saddened me for a number of reasons. I'm like the last speaker, we spend a lot of time doing nothing, just being busy. And that I won't even be able to see my kid. I have a 14-year-old.
But here's the thing, and I want to help change your narrative right now. You get to choose whatever you want to do for the next 25, 20, 30 years of your life. You get to choose. And if that means do something different, look, you chose at this age to get your real estate license. You choose to show up to the office. You choose to do things different. You choose to do something that could potentially lead you to get out of that job, help you retire from that job, to give back, to do some things that you've never done in your life, Teresa. So not to change the narrative, you could do whatever the fuck you want to do right now. Right? And here we are to support that and your journey to do whatever you want. So we got you, your team's got you. And listen, there's people that you have contributed to their life that is what matters the most. You have given love, you have given to your family, and you know what you've done? You've created consistency in your life. You've said, you know what, I've been here for this long because I needed to do this for my family. I wasn't going to go without. I wasn't going to have food. I wasn't not going to know where my next paycheck was going to be. I knew I was going to have benefits. I knew I was going to have a 401k. So celebrate that shit. It's not like, oh, I stuck here. You made a choice to be consistent for you and your family to make sure that you had that stability. There ain't nothing wrong with that. Nothing. Now you've made a choice to do things differently.
And I'm not stopping, Elijah, because you guys are great.
And you're great. Can we give Teresa some love?
I'm not. Thank you. I love you guys, all of you. You guys.
Woo! Appreciate you. Appreciate you. You guys, I feel different today. I wanted this meeting to hit a little bit different. Teresa, I appreciate you chiming in. Damian, let's go over to you.
Good morning. Good morning. I definitely don't want this to take a morbid turn, but on this this topic, it does resonate. Like a couple days ago, a high school friend of mine, 37 years old, passed away of congestive heart failure, and we weren't super close, but we knew each other. We had made music together in the past, and I know his sister a little better. So she calls me yesterday and is in spirits that I couldn't even believe. You could tell she's smiling on the phone, and she's obviously grieving and sad and everything, but she's telling me how much of an impact I had on her brother's life and how much he respected me, and they want me at the repast and everything. And I'm like, this is nuts that she can even talk to me at this point, but that they're thinking of me to come to honor her brother in this way. It was real gratifying, but it made me, to the point, it made me look at my effect on people. Like, you never know how you're affecting or how you're coming across to people or how you positively impact them. And with our time, that's the most important thing. Like, I was talking to my wife last night about it. Like, I feel bad sometimes that my extracurriculars take away from things that I could be doing in business, but this is my life. Like, this is the way my path goes, and it's affecting somebody at the end of the day. So you have to look at your cause and effect and what you're doing most with your time. And again, it could be that push and pull. Like, you could be given more time to making more money, or you could be given time to affecting lives. But again, it's all what you do with the time that you have, and you just never know. 37 years old, you could have a heart attack in front of your 13-year-old. That's crazy to think. So thinking about that, do the most with the time that you have. That's what this made me think about.
Man, I love it, man. And our condolences, our hearts, our prayers all go out to you, my man. So let's go to Jay Renee. You had your hand up, and we'll come over to you, Bill, next. Jay Renee, you had your hand up. All I ask is that if you can't put your camera on, if you are not driving and it's in a safe place. You on? Going once?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Hello?
Hi, I can hear you.
Okay, I'm driving my daughter to school. I never really speak on here.
It's okay. I'm glad you are.
Yeah, I'm taking her to school right now. So that's why I'm never on camera. I'm always on her way to school. But when everyone's just listening to everyone this morning talking about how much time we have left, and someone, I don't remember the person's name, but they were speaking about what you could leave your children behind after you pass on. And that resonated with me because at a young age, both of my parents died pretty much back to back. I'm 24. My parents died when I was 8 and 10. And going through life, like, I realized, as I got older, they didn't really, I don't have anything from my parents that was like left behind. But one thing I can say that I do have from them is their legacy and the impact they left on other people. And to this day, like, I will run into people out just like at the grocery store or just some random place or social media, and they're always messaging me like, your mom and dad were such great people, and like they'll send me money or just do like random nice things for me just because of the impact that my parents had and how much respect they had for them before they passed. And so I just feel like that's really big for me. I have a 4-year-old daughter, and it's like I'm so into like, of course I want to leave things behind that she can have, because I know how it is to like really have to go out there and get it on your own because you have nothing left, but as well as the impact that I leave on people and just being a good person overall to people, because you never know how that can be repaid in a different time in your life or to your children.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And you know what? What you've gone through has been powerful, what you've been through at a young age. I mean, some of us can't even imagine that. So I appreciate you sharing. Thank you for stepping up and grabbing the mic, and drive safely to daughter's school. Let's go over to you, Bill, and then Aaliyah will go to you next, and then we'll kind of come full circle in this conversation. Bill, let's hear from you, big dog. And Andy, you had your hand up too. Sorry about that. Go ahead, Bill.
No problems. Good morning, everyone. I just wanted to chime in. I'm a little on the older side now. I'm 57 years old. I got into real estate at 55. When my body's falling apart, my back's gone, hips replaced, all kinds of stuff. I can no longer do physical labor, and I didn't plan for a future. But with all that being said, I think the most important thing in life is balance. We all need money to pay the bills, to survive and all that, but chasing money, I tried that when I was younger. I've been right on the verge of being a millionaire twice and lost everything both times. But my values were in the wrong place. I think it's more about values and balance. There's a time for work, there's a time for me, and there's a time for charity. Most of you don't know me that well, but I'm a Mason. I'm involved in many things. I'm a lifetime member of the Northern California Peace Officers Association. I spend probably 35 hours a month doing charity work for various organizations, things. I'm the landlord of my lodge building. We're remodeling it. A lot of the work is done by myself and one other guy. I think it's about balance. It's about leaving a legacy of your name more than anything else, and leaving that your values and principles had meaning. That to me is more important than anything else I could leave anybody. I just wanted to chime in and speak out for a minute.
Bill, I absolutely love that, bro. Yeah, because I had no idea. And when we think about this from a consumer standpoint, it's like, do consumers know, do they see that you sold a shit ton of real estate, right? I'm proud of you, right? I made a video the other day. It said, do you sell a fuck ton of real estate? Because if you do, I'm super happy for you. But what does your Zillow review say? It's like, oh, run on is timely. PK answered my call. She sold her house for $500,000 over. That is cool, but like, who is the person, the purpose, the mission that's behind that? Because that's how I'd prefer all of you guys to be known, for a bigger purpose. Aaliyah, let's go to you. You had your hand up.
I was gonna say my perspective is a little bit different than most of everybody else's, but for me, honestly, this number means nothing to me, because we do not control when we come into this world, and we don't control when we leave this world. So honestly, every single day for me is a huge blessing. Every single second in this day is a huge blessing, because it's not promised to us. You know, some of the older people on here, like, I only have 20 years left. Well, we don't know that. Like, I'm one of the younger people. One of my numbers was like, hi, but I could literally die tomorrow. So, you know, do I have that 17,000 number? No. And then for the older people, maybe you have 20 years left, maybe you have 5, maybe you have 2, like maybe you have 30. We really don't know. So kind of how everybody else was saying of just being present in the moment and being super intentional of how we're impacting other people's lives and the values that we're sharing with other people, and especially with our children, because when we do leave, like everybody else is saying, they're not going to remember the things that we said and, you know, our money or whatever. They're going to remember like our values and how we made them feel. So that's just kind of my take.
And Aaliyah, I could hear it in your voice, and I appreciate that, because at the end of the day, like, this is how I'm going to choose to impact people today. Who am I going to elevate? How am I going to spread love? How am I going to share gratitude? Like that, that's a choice every single day. What I'm going to give to this world at a highest level. So Aaliyah, thank you for saying that. PK, let's go to you. We'll go to Denise, and then we'll go to Clarence. So PK, let's hear it. I could see her smile glimmering. And so PK, let's hear it.
Hopefully construction will stay quiet for a little bit. So this is very much, it's moving, but at the same time, back to Aaliyah's point, like it could be 1 day left. It could be like the 16,000 number I had. But one thing that really stood out to me was in 2 weeks, I have a trip coming up. After 3 years, I'm going back to Iran to see my parents. And literally as I booked my trip, and then all this work piled up, listings, construction, all the things that I've been planning for, for years are now happening in this moment that I'm going to be away for 2 weeks. And there was a moment in my head that I was like, I'm going to cancel the trip. I can't do this. I'm going to push it, and I'm going to tell my parents I can't come, and I'm just going to take care of my clients because that's my job. And I'm going to take care of my house because I started it and I have to finish it. And then there was a moment that I was kind of thinking, well, how do I know if I get another chance to go see them? How do I know if there's going to be another time, And it's hard because we're constantly striving to be better at our job, make more money, build a brand that is really standing out, and it's going to be long lasting for us and for our family. But then the other side of it is that's our time, and that's our valuable time that we could spend with parents and family that we're giving up. And there's no way I'm going to cancel the trip.
Love that.
But at the same time, it's hard because it's the act of balancing between work, family, reputation, building. So
How many
I
people
think
on the
all
screen,
of us,
hold PK really quick, how many people on the screen right now, if PK was away on vacation, could help out, do showings, open doors for her if she needed someone to help her out? Hey, PK, I'll volunteer myself to go and open doors, shake hands, hold babies for you while you're gone, if that means that you have that time with your family. Like, we will 100% support. Look at all the hands that went up. There's tons and tons of hands that went up. So I love that you're not canceling.
really appreciate all of you. I know, this is the whole purpose of having a team. I'm sharing this because it's just so hard to make these choices, and you have to constantly go back to your truth and your values. And sometimes you have to prioritize things like family over everything else. And yeah, thanks all for the support. Hopefully nothing comes up that I would need your help, but I know if it does come, I'm in the right place to get the support.
I love it. And can't wait to see all the pictures. You spending time with the family. Love it. I got
Thank you.
Denise fam, let's go over to you. You had your hand up. Let's hear from you. Good to see your smiling face.
Thank you. I just want to say, I think we had this talk in one of the meetings, but it's never too late to start anytime, if you look at all the successful, I used to love Vera Wang, and you look at her history, she didn't become the famous, wedding dress designer until she was past her 40s. And I love reading autobiography. And so when you think about it and you look at the number and for me, especially the pandemic, it makes you just appreciate and just do what you love, and don't compare yourself to others. I think that's also key, and just, just embrace what you have. And like a lot of people talk about, especially having kids, is like having that legacy and making sure that your kids, remember you for being there, but also, working hard. And so my husband, we've owned a restaurant and everything. And I looked at him and like, hey, you're going to be in your 40s. Like, you look so unhappy, like do something you love. And, we took a risk and 3-4 years ago, we sold the restaurant, and now he's a fishing guide and he loves what he do. And every time people ask me, oh, where's your husband? I go, he's at work, but he's working on something he loves. And like, that's the same thing for me. I love real estate and I love working with other agents, and it's just been my passion. And I love community. And so I'm always volunteering at a local school, at a local nonprofit. And, and if you have time, you do it, but don't feel to PK, I used to be like that. Like, oh my gosh, I can never, they call me a workaholic, even my kids and my family. But at some point you just have to unplug and just embrace the time that you're there. And I think we get mixed up with, finding the balance, but it's like, you can do multiple things, but it doesn't have to be multitasking at one time, but just like do it when you're being a real estate, do it really well and just embrace that time. But when you're home with your family, embrace that time and pay attention to them.
Love it, Denise. I love it. Absolutely love it. You guys, I'm 42 years old. been on this earth since 1979. I've been in business since I was 18 years old. And finally, at 42 years old, I'm the happiest I've ever been in my career, right? I've taken more chances in the last couple of years than I've ever taken in my life. I've done more things than I ever thought that I could possibly do. And you know, at the end of the day, it like Denise, it was never too late. Like there's people think like, oh, well, 42. It's like, no, like, I feel like I'm just getting started. I'm going to give this full momentum for the next 8 years. And my plan is to be able to retire and be able to travel the world with my family. So I love this, Denise. Clarence, let's go to you, and the Kaleem will come full circle with you.
Hey, everyone. First, I just want to say, definitely what Aaliyah was saying. It's really, for me, it's really God's plan as in terms of when the end date is. It could be 1 day, it could be 1,000 days. And I've actually known people who live beyond the 27,000 days and live long, productive lives. So don't get tied into that number like that. Everybody has, doing with the time you have left, do what you love, do what you can, One thing my wife and I have done for years, we've taken long vacations, and people always say, where y'all going now? Where y'all going now? How can y'all do this? It's like, we make the time to do it, because memories like that, that lasts your lifetime. I don't want to be, the guy in my last day is talking about, I wish I woulda, coulda, shoulda,
Right.
I wish I could have helped people. I wish I could have helped my family. I wish I could have been there for my family. I mean, I love real estate, and I love this journey in my life, which is also a change, also a chance, but I would rather make it. I would rather on my tombstone say, at least he tried versus, oh, he was a hard worker.
Yeah.
So you got to put the time in and enjoy this time and enjoy each day. And, like I said, no day is promised to you, and don't get stuck on this day.
I love that. I love that. And you know what? It's not like, how can you? It's like, we have to go and spend this time together on an extended vacation, because, that's so important. So I love it. Kaleem, let's hear from you, big dog. We're going to come full circle.
Seeing my number kind of shocked me. I know mine was definitely the highest in the room at 24,000. So it just made me feel a lot more comfortable to realize that, I am on the right path. Sometimes I overthink a lot of things. I feel like a lot of kids my age tend to think that they're not figuring things out fast enough, but I feel like I'm really on the right path right now. And I got a long time to figure everything out and learn from all my mistakes and just to live my best life for those 24,000 days.
I love it. I love it. You guys, the reason why we're having this conversation, it's all rooted in perspective, right? It's like, how am I going to greet my day? How am I going to contribute? What can I do far past me? Like, really to start thinking about it. And we're going to have these conversations about mission-driven business and what can we get involved with? We're talking about this as a company. Like, how can we contribute more? How can we, like give back to our communities? How can we do things bigger? So I wanted to make a quick call. You guys, I don't generally make calls while I'm on a call with you guys. But I wanted to do this because it's super, super important. And so hang with me for 1 second, okay? Just bear with me. There's 91 people on the call today. Hopefully she answers. Bear with me, bear with me. Okay, I have a 2-rating policy with this person, so hopefully they answer and stay true to the policy. Good morning, Mom. How are you? I am coaching. You're actually on coaching right now. There's okay, so you're on the call.
Mama!
You're on the call with 91 people. We're talking about, I know, we're talking about perspective. We're talking about life. My mom has had COVID pneumonia. 3 days ago, she called me, went to the lung doctor, and she is no longer on oxygen. So Mom, I just want to call you and tell you that you mean the world to me, and I love you, and everyone has seen your journey. So say hi to Mom, give her a huge congratulations.
Hey.
So, okay, Mom, I love you. Yes, Mom. Yep.
Love you, Mom.
I want to tell everybody what a dream come true my son is. He is everything, everything. I'm proud of you.
Well, I'm proud to be your son, and I love you, and so happy that you're off that oxygen. Okay, mwah. Love you. That's it. You guys, like that's it. Like if I can make her happy, make my son happy, make my lady happy, have an impact on your guys' life, like I'm okay. like the simplest of things, like I'm okay. And so you guys, I thought that this conversation was really powerful. Before we come full circle, I want to give you guys a sneak peek at something that we are going to be doing for our event, and we're going to be speaking on a giant stage, 1,500 people in Mexico next week, and it's all about you guys and the community that's been created. Now, mind you, I don't typically play videos on here as well, but I think in this case, well, you'll get the most out of it. So I'm going to play this video, and we'll come full circle, you guys, and wrap up.
Behind every great achievement, there is always a community, a group of people who come together to help make the impossible possible, to help achieve goals, and to help each other achieve goals as one unit working together for the same purpose. And when you build a community, it's important that there's intention. What do you want your community to look like? Our community is inclusive, it's engaged, it's smart, it's unique, it's fun. And it's committed to the idea of always getting better and helping each other get better at the same time. Because our philosophy is, if you can build a community that is strong, a community that is vibrant, and a community that can generate its own energy, that energy can be used to attract others. And the more people you can attract, the stronger you become.
And that's how we're going to wrap up our speech in Mexico, because of you guys. I get emotional.
I love it.
Right? It's just like, like you guys, it like touches my soul. You guys know how much you mean to me, how much this company means to me. And like I told Patrick, I'm like, bro, I need this by tonight. And this was yesterday. I'm like, I need this. And here's the thoughts. I sent him a bunch of stuff. I'm like, what videos do you have? I'm like, we need to put this together because I didn't want to have a bunch of slides in Mexico. I want to have a short amount of slides. Kenny and I do our quick speeches and then turn it to you guys so they can see this community that we talk about. So thumbs up. Do you guys like it? Pretty cool.
Love it.
Okay, cool. Do you think that it encapsulates who we are as a company and as our community? Okay, cool.
Absolutely.
Love it. Love it. All right, cool. So let's do this, you guys. We were supposed to have a conversation about the market. I was just going to do a high-level conversation about the number, but I'm glad it went down this path. I really am. And hopefully you guys took something out of this because I'm truly moved today. So I want to go around the room. I want to hear a couple quick takeaways from a few people. Ophelia, are you on? I saw you chime in earlier. Are you still on the line? Ophelia Vargas?
Yes, I am. Sorry, it takes a while to get to the mute button.
It's okay.
Yes.
Ophelia, you're obviously not new to the game, but you're new to group coaching in our environment. What were some of your key takeaways from today's sesh?
Geez, I had posted that I joined in a bit late because like the other gal, I take my kids to school. So as I sat here, I'm like, oh gosh, this is a deep conversation. What's happening? And I'm just like, I'm taking it all in. And then I'm like, oh, this is hitting my spirit. And I honestly, it's just be intentional about your time and how you want to use that time and balance. Be intentional on setting boundaries to know family time is family, be present. Work time is work time, give it your all. You time is you time, soak in his presence. Like I'm Christian, so I'm like soak in his presence and just be there. So my takeaway was definitely needed. Yeah.
I love it. And I appreciate you being here. And Ophelia, you've been in the game for a while. And so, my intent is that you see things that are going to help elevate you, and not just from a production systems organization, because that's all part of it, but like, hey, can we elevate as human beings? Because you guys will hear me say this over and over again. I'm not coaching an agent. I'm coaching a human being. And if I can tap into that person and I can get real with you guys, I could probably help you to increase your own production, because I'm not just fucking skimming on the surface. You guys have a relationship with me. I'll never stay here, right? I want to go layer and layer and layer deeper. So I appreciate you being here. Colette, takeaways from today's session.
Hey, well, thank you, Elias. I appreciate you. I've had, a number of coaches, and I feel like you keeping it real is on every level, calling me out, whatever. I appreciate that. But the thing that struck me, and I got about 7,000 days left. I don't know, folks, but yeah, it's a wake up call to get busy living. Get busy living.
Yes.
Every single day, wake up, hit the ground. As soon as my feet hit the ground, I'm giving thanks. I stood up, I walked. It sounded like bubble wrap sometimes, like I'm stepping on bubble wrap, but hey, I made it. I made it to the bathroom. You know what I mean? It's just like, I'm just grateful. And in terms of my business, I gotta set a fire on it. And so thank you for that conversation.
I love it. Go out there and make a giant impact in your community, in your world. We all have the ability to do so. Cynthia, let's hear from you.
Call some people I love today. That's what I'm gonna do.
Good. I love it. Cynthia, let's hear from you. And you guys, look at small conversation with my mom. That's going to light a fuel under my mom's, ass. And she's just going to be so grateful that I spent some time just centered to that. So if I can make her feel good, that's an impact for the day. Cynthia, let's hear from you. Takeaways from today's session. And thanks for being here.
Well, the frog just now got out of my throat because your guys' stories and your sharing was just, thank you. Like, I don't even know how to explain what you did to me today, but thank you. Takeaway from today is I have to see my mom at least twice a year. Like, this is crazy. She lives in Indiana, so she's like super far away, but that's not that far away. That's really not that far away. So I booked my flight. I extended a flight to stay with her a little bit longer this morning.
Oh yeah.
Because why not? Like, fuck it. It's a $700 ticket. Fuck it. I mean, so what? Like, there's so much more that I want to do and say and be with her that it's like, whatever, that's going to come and go. I mean, think about how much time and money you spend at fucking Target. Like, save up a few trips, right? Like, totally. It's just putting it into perspective. And Elias did this math with me yesterday, and it has stayed with me so hard to the point that I'm like, okay, I gotta take action on this. I'm not living so that I can work. Like, work is just a small part of my life, and I have to remember that. I mean, hey, I'm not dogging Target. Don't get me wrong. I love me a good Target run, but fuck, I walk out like $700 later,
Right? Because, there's times where it's like, oh, I'll spend $500 on that for my business and do some marketing and mail that. But yeah, I don't think I'll be able to make it to Indiana. Like, what? I've done that. You guys, and my family's in San Diego. Right? So Cynthia, I love it. And thanks for being here. Chris, you had your hand up, bro. Let's hear from you. Takeaways from today's session.
Over on my way to Tahoe, just feeling grateful. Just wanted to say that, I've owned multiple businesses, worked with a bunch of different brokers throughout my 16-year career, and energy and everything in this company, the community of this team is just next level. I can't even explain it. I make sure I come, to this meeting, 3-4 times a week. And I just appreciate everybody. Just know that, more in my late 20s,
Chris, your audio's cutting out.
Okay.
We love you. And I think we all clear on your message, but we love you, brother. Thanks for being here. Your audio is just cutting in and out. You guys, so listen, remember the state that you're in right now, right? And it's not the state in which we live, it's where we live internally. So I want you to remember that the state that you're in. And if you say, you know what, God, I want to live my life with more intention, I want to contribute at a higher level, there is nothing stopping you. So go out there and say, you know what, I want to make an impact. I want to make a change. I want to be more grateful. And then you have the ability to do so. Put life in a perspective, right? I'm just thinking about things in a completely different level. I'm glad that we have this conversation. And listen, at first, one hand went up, then one hand went up, then 6 hands and 7 hands went up, because that's the power of the collective wisdom. That's the power of collectively sharing, because we all get better. I look at myself in these coaching sessions as a moderator. My job is to ask a good question that's going to get the train moving down the tracks. You guys are the ones that keep the momentum going. And so I appreciate you, and I am beyond grateful for everything that you do. So be intentful today. Be mindful of what you want to do in this life, and go out and create a mission-driven business. And if you guys need help, if you have thoughts, if there's things that you want to do in the office, if you want to do a backpack drive, whatever it is, you guys, we're down to support. I would rather you be known for that versus the person that just sells a fuck ton of real estate. So that's my thoughts, you guys. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. I'm actually going to go to Seattle tonight and then back tomorrow morning, because somebody lost their passport, me. And apparently there's only 3 regional centers where you can go and get your passport. Well, all the regional centers have no appointments. The only appointment that was available is in Seattle, Washington. So I'll be on a plane and then right back, but I have all my documents and everything ready. So we're going to go light up the stage next week in Cabo and represent you guys at the highest level possible and contribute at the highest level possible. So I appreciate you more than you'll ever know. Thank you for being a huge part of my life and everything that I do. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, and get out there and own your day. Appreciate you. Peace.